Hi, I'm Roger Wakefield, lead APV expert plumber, coming to you on LinkedIn Live. And here's the thing. I'm sorry, coming to you on YouTube Live. This is a recorded show, so if you're catching this on a replay, this is where we talk about all things plumbing. And you can jump in here, you can ask questions, you can leave comments, you can even communicate with each other. This is a great spot to learn if you are wanting to get into the trades, if you're an apprentice, you want to get better, you're a tradesman, you want to get better, or you want to open your own company, or maybe you're a company owner and you want to learn how to do different things. So if you hadn't jumped in here before, or if you're catching this on a replay, do me a favor, watch a little bit of it. There may be questions asked, answered that you never even thought to ask. So this could be a really good deal. So, man, if you're new to this, welcome. Glad to have you here. We have all kinds of new things going on. I hope that you like it. I hope you enjoy it. And if you do, man, hope you subscribe and ring the bell. That way you can come back and hang out with us more often. Now I'm going to jump into the chat real quick. I see that we have a few people in here. Pretty cool already. Let me see. Adrian Miskels, welcome back. How are you? Good to have you in here. I hope that everything sounds well. I look like I'm peeking over here just a little bit. So I'm going to turn that down just a hair. I hope y'all are doing well. Please let me know if it sounds too loud, starts getting distorted, anything like that. I think I might have fixed it right there. Hopefully things are going well where you're at. Today's plumbing, installing 4 ADA toilet, shower trim, and a vanity sink faucets. Install all caps and cleanouts. Man, that is fantastic. Good to have you in here. Good to have you back. Jack's Plumbing, welcome back. Great seeing you in here as well. And let me play with that a little bit, move things around. Small town fisherman, excited is an understatement. I'll tell you what, it's good because we get a lot of plumbers that jump back in here, back and forth and all that. And that's why, look, if you are catching this on a replay, this is, man, there's some great people jumping in here all the time. We do a lot of neat things. Going to talk about some new product tonight. Going to talk about possibilities going on back here on a sponsor wall. So there's a lot going on. Glad y'all are in here. Expat trader. Man, I almost said expert, and it's like, wait a minute. Glad you're in here. Good to see you. Going from concrete finisher for over 10 years and having to start fresh with a big drop in pay as a plumbing helper at 35 years old. Because you're willing to do what it takes to learn this. Man, I love that. Man, who can relate? Let me tell you about it. When I started plumbing, I worked 3 jobs. I worked at a game place and tended bar at night. And I mean, like video arcade, pool table, stuff like that. It was a really cool gig. I mean, for a kid that loved to shoot pool and play video games, it was great. Later, for a kid that loved to have a cold beer every now and then, it was even better. So pretty cool. But I'll tell you this, it was neat because I understood what I had to do. And I wasn't afraid to work. So, I was young, I was married, had a baby on the way, or had a baby, whichever time it was. And I gotta tell you, I was willing to work. When I say I worked 2 or 3 jobs, I was plumbing during the day. I was working at, it's called Carousel Raceway at night. And I was building fences and redwood decks and stuff like that on the weekends. I've done security. I've done bodyguard work. I've done so many different things, and it was just so much fun. But I've always been a worker, love to work. So it was pretty cool. Hey, Will, can you see me? Got a message that says, we can't see or hear you, Roger. You know what? That's probably before I went live, so hopefully everything's good now. Not completely relatable, but kind of. I got it. Small town fisherman, I love this. I was a cook for the last 4 years, 17 now. Want to become a plumber because of Roger. And that's a scary thought. Don't do anything because of me. Man. You know what? I got to tell you, though, this is really neat because you can. And he may have jumped in. That's what I said. Will just jumped in, guys, to make sure everything's good. He may have been here before I got started. So my bad. Thank you. So small town fisherman, I'm assuming you can see and hear me now. Roger, back up a wee bit from the mic is really loud. Yeah, I cranked that down. I think we should be good now. Man, I got to tell you, we've really had a great day. Don't know if y'all know who Eric Granson is from Around the House with Eric G. If y'all listen to his podcast, great. If not, you should. He is actually in Dallas. He actually came in, believe it or not, to pick up a puppy. And I think that's great, man. If you're willing to come from Oregon to Dallas because you want a Texas dog, I get it. That's not really the reason, but the cool thing is he came to town to get a dog and called me, says, hey, look, I'm going to be in town. So he came by today. We shot 2 videos. Great. And one of them is about some product that I'm going to get to talk about here in a minute. Talked about a little bit about it today. I've just got so many good things going on. I love it. Sergiu Castilla. Man, I know I mess it up. Sergiu Castilla. I'm close. UK plumber apprentice. Great. Glad to have you here. If you hadn't been in before, man, tell me what made you check this out today. Really interested in that. Don't know if you're subscribed to the channel, if you've been watching the videos or anything like that. Just give me a shout and let me know. I'm always interested in that. Mario Brothers 702. Can't wait to go to trade school for plumbing. I'll tell you what, I love it. Now it's a little quiet. Man, I am trying to get things right. So I appreciate y'all giving me a little bit of feedback there. Bump it up just a hair. Not touching the red, staying in the yellow, so I'm good there. Greg Jones, this sounds good. Love it. There we go. Mario Brothers says, never mind, my phone's returned down. Have you ever roughed in a tiny home? You know what, Saltine Cracker, I have not, but I got to tell you, that's something I'm interested in because I've got 2 things I've always wanted to do. And tiny homes were one I thought about a long time ago. I've never roughed one in, but man, I want to. And when you say a tiny home, do you mean one built on site, like on a foundation, or do you mean one built on wheels? Because to me, man, that's something I would enjoy doing. The other one is I want to build a home completely off the grid. I've got an idea in my head about a house that uses rainwater harvesting, uses solar panels, maybe even a turbine to generate power and water and things like that. So I'm really looking for that. Grant Anderson says, plumber in the UK, I love it. Enjoy your show. Great to hear about how plumbing is done from around the world. Grant, I agree with you. And I'd say, man, when we talk about things that's maybe done different over there, we love hearing how it's done different over there too. So, man, that would be great hearing your view on it and things like that. That'd be cool. Gunnar Parrish says, I don't know why is plumbing looked down upon by some people as a career. I love it so far, and the pay is great. I tell you what, I like that. Now, I got to tell you all, those of you that know my story, know I used to tell people, I moved down to Austin for a while. And this is after I had been plumbing for about 4 years, somewhere around in there. I guess I had my license. And I moved down there, and I'd go out bar hopping. And I realized that when I told women I was a plumber, it'd be like, oh, great, you know. I started telling them I was in construction. I'd sort of say, hey, I'm in construction or I'm in this. And you'd be surprised it was a completely different look. But my thought about it later was, you know what? They can kiss my south side. I realized, look, I love plumbing and I get excited about it. And if this is somebody that doesn't understand it, that doesn't get it, and that's their problem. That ain't my problem. So I'm right there with you. I love being a plumber. If you want to look down on it, look down on it. Sorry about your bad luck. Isidoro Enriquez, it was a moment. Man, I hope everything's good now. It was a moment. What again? Not sure where we're going, but love it. What's up, Roger? Just wanted you to know I started my router company. I should have my C36 license by August. Thanks for the inspiration. Isaiah 92, where are you located? Because I'm not sure what the C36 license is. where are you located? Because, man, I am so intrigued by the different licensing all across the United States. Not just the United States, but Canada. We get people from Sweden, the UK. We get people from around the world in here. And it intrigues me about all the different licensing and how it's set up. So, man, give me a shout, Isaiah. Let me know where you're at, what's going on, what does a C36 mean, and what you have to do to get it. Small town fisherman, have you ever worked with polybutylene? Absolutely. Here's the deal: is we don't work with it anymore. Polybutylene, we tell everybody, hey guys, it's not made anymore. We can't get the parts for it anymore. It cracks. The coin eats it up. All the different things. We let them know it's time for us to do something else. Look at this. My boss has jumped in here. So, hello, Miss Julie Wakefield. How are you? I hope everything is going great. She's literally on the other side of the wall over there. So I've got to be good, because if I get in trouble in here, man, she can fire me. So everybody, if you hadn't done so, say hello to Julie. Great having her in here. Honey, thank you very much for jumping in. I appreciate it. This is a good question. Justin Mitchell says, do you always cap your solder joints? Is that more for looks, or does it help the seal? You know, I really don't on a solder joint. I know people that do. Now, I had somebody bust my tail the other day because one of my videos that I've done, I cap my seal floss joints, meaning my braze joints. But I learned that back whenever I was doing fire protection systems, because literally you used a T-drill. So you're pulling your T out, meaning you're not installing a T, you're drilling a hole in pipe and creating a T. So the piece that you nip, I guess is what the correct word is, where it cuts the notches in the other end, you barely stick it in there. It's got dimples on it. So, I mean, your well is only about, your fitting is maybe 1/8 of an inch thick. So we always seal floss those and cap them. So that's how I learned to seal floss and braze. So I still cap. Even my med gas joints, don't get me wrong, I heat it and I know penetration. I know how to get my metal deep in there, but I still cap it. So, man, I do on seal floss. I don't try to really cap a solder joint, because I think you got to keep moving your heat around, and your metal's going to cool down. It's going to reheat. It's going to cool down. It's going to reheat. I'm not worried about that. I understand how to heat it, move my flame around, apply my solder, and let it penetrate. So I've never really worried about that. Deontay, thank you. It's great, because this really has been a good day. Like I said, those of y'all that don't know about Around the House with Eric G, he was in here earlier today. It was fantastic. Had a great time shooting a couple of videos. I'm rebuilding a website, so spent a lot of time with a photographer earlier in the day. It has been like an all-day long photo shoot. Man, it's been wild, running 90 miles an hour, but, man, life is good. Having fun, so, yeah, it's been great. Okay, so Sergio Costea says, I've been watching your videos on YouTube and I've subscribed to your channel, as I can learn a lot from your videos. Man, I love that. Sergio, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I appreciate that. It's funny because a lot of people reach out to me all the time and say, look, I want to get started. Where do I get started? And it's funny because that's what I tell them is, look, just start watching my videos. And I know that's crazy, but you're going to jump in. You're going to see, because we talk about so many different things. We do so many different things, but you're going to jump in and you're going to start seeing a lot of things. The neat thing about it is you're going to see how to be a very professional plumber, because I talk about that, everything from looking for a job to interviewing for a job to the daily, here's what I got to do to get better. And, man, it's going to help you out. So, Sergio, I appreciate that. Man, I hope you learn a lot, and I hope it all really does go well for you. Okay, Rodrigo Esparza, and I love this question too. Rodrigo says, does licensing transfer to Texas from California? I'm looking into getting into plumbing, but planning to move to Texas in a few years. Rodrigo, here's what I tell you, and man, I'm a great guy to ask about this because I've been talking to Lisa Hill a lot down at the Texas State Board about this exact thing because I've got a plumber I've got an apprentice tradesman fixing to be that started out in Cali, came here. I've got a guy from North Carolina that started in California, North Carolina, now here. So I'm a good one. So here's what I'll tell you is it can transfer, but since y'all really don't have a license unless you've got the contractor's license, what you're going to have to do is get on the Texas verification, get on the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiner's website, get the hours form that is signed by the master plumber. Get that, send it to the plumbers, or since you're still in Cali, carry it to them now, or every company you've ever worked for, you need to go back to them and say, hey, I need you to fill this out because I'm trying to get my license in Texas. And they'll fill out how many hours you worked for them, their name, email address. It's their name, the company name, the email address, and stuff like that. But it also says, how many hours did you work for them? And that's going to be big because when you come to Texas and you need to sign up to take your test, that's the kind of things that they're going to look for. So yes, you can do it, but you got to do it right and document it. Saltine Cracker says, the guy that taught me plumbing said plumbers had reputations of being great arm wrestlers. Now, you know what? I'm a pretty good arm wrestler, or used to be. I got to tell you, I won't even try it anymore. I've had both shoulders operated on. So I'm not just a good-looking plumber. I'm smart, too. And, man, I will not arm wrestle anybody anymore. But I got to tell you, I got a young man who was an apprentice. His name was John Trammell. And I tell you what, that kid could arm wrestle. He doesn't do it anymore. He's not an apprentice anymore. He is actually BIM operator and coordinator for one of the largest mechanical contractors in Dallas. And it's really cool because one of the nationwide people had reached out to me about some stuff one time, and he literally was talking about Revit and BIM product or something like that, and I don't remember which one it was. But I asked him, I was like, oh my gosh, do you know John Trammell? And he's like, absolutely. That guy's like amazing. And he is. But that kid, God, young enough to be my son, but and not big, bulky, stout, anything like that. But that dude could arm wrestle. And I tell you what, me and him arm wrestled one time, and I wasn't going down, he wasn't going down. And I mean, we arm wrestled so long it hurt. But man, no, I'm not bad. But another guy that I used to know was a farmer. He hauled hay all day. And I mean, this guy could carry like freaking railroad ties 2 at a time on his shoulders. Arm wrestling, man, you couldn't get him down. But he understood how to break your wrist over, and you could not get him down. So it was pretty cool. Mario Brother says, hello, Julie. Absolutely. Small Town Fisherman says, in Canada, they're ripping it out of homes and roughing in with PEX or copper now. Here's the good things. And I'll tell you this. Small Town Fisherman, here, we didn't put it in the homes like we are the PEX, at least none that I found. Here's what we did, though. We ran the yard services from the meter to the house. And I think in the late 70s, 80s, very early 90s, sometime around in there, when we were putting that in here, what we were doing is we were still putting copper under the house, bringing that out using like a flow fitting to transition from copper to PB. Man, big difference. If we just stuck it in houses, I'm telling you, there'd be insurance companies right now saying, yeah, don't buy that house. And what I mean is, I think if they knew that polybutylene was in the yard, if there was a way to check it without digging it down, possibly breaking it, doing something like that, I think they'd be saying, yeah, we're not going to do that. So nowadays, we go look at it. We tell people we're changing it out. We don't make repairs on it. Now, they don't have to, but we just tell them we're not going to try to fix that. We'll give them a price to replace it with polyethylene or PEX, cross-linked polyethylene, or copper. And copper's a little bit more, of course, because cost of materials. Blaze Murray, how we doing today? Doctors and lawyers hate paying the hefty prices. Their ego can't comprehend how a plumber makes the same as them while playing in the mud. And that's a neat way to look at it. And you're right. The only person I've had really get upset about pricing, and I mean, we were at this guy's for, 40 to 60 hours. I don't remember. Whoever had done a lot of poly work under his house, PEX, coming in, pipe things. He had circulation systems that didn't work and couldn't get hot water here and couldn't do this. And man, it took us a while because we had to literally crawl around and trace every single thing out. We had to do a lot of isolation, a lot of testing. And man, and guy was an amazing doctor. And he's the only one that's ever called me upset about pricing. I mean, really upset. He says, look, I got to tell you, you're a great plumber. I cannot say anything bad because you solved our problems, but the pricing blows me away. And I'm like, well, you realize we had like 2 or 3 people at a time over there, like 40 to 60 hours. And I don't remember the numbers, but man, I get it. I get it. Adrian Miskell says, very true. Small town fisherman replacing it. Absolutely. Expat trader. How has this COVID pandemic affected your business and other plumbers' businesses? And man, that's another good one. And I got to tell you this is, look, in the beginning, it affected us a little bit. And don't get me wrong, it's still affecting us a little bit. Up until here lately, it's starting to slow down again because I think people are understanding. We don't know how long this is going to last. Some people still have not gone back to work. Man, we were doing good. I think we were doing good for, we kind of shut down everything, shut down for about a month. Plumbers, of course, are essential, so we still kept running, but it was limited. I mean, people didn't know how long it was going to last, so our call volume fell drastically. A lot of different things going on. Thank God we do what we do on social media because that has really, it's done a lot and it's kept our phones ringing, but everybody slowed down. And I mean, I think everybody's seen it. Problem is Dallas tried opening back up too quick, and now I think we need to shut down again. I think it's going to happen. And man, my problem is, look, there's more and more cases reported across the United States. Why? Is it just that we're not doing what's right? We're not thinking safe. We're not taking care of our customers. Not sure what all it is, but it's crazy. Man, I got some good questions in here today. I'm liking this. So let's go this. Let's start with Deontay here. Deontay Richardson says, hopefully my interview for the Plumbers Union here in Ohio will be in a few weeks. They told me July. They want a resume. They want to resume interview. Sorry about that. My bad. Can't wait. So ready to start this new path and learn to be the best. And you're already starting to learn to be the best by hanging out and doing the things you're doing. And Deontay, I'll tell you what, I love that. Does the Ohio Union do residential too or just commercial? I'm curious because I don't know. What is their training program set up like? The union has a good training program. The union has a good retirement program. They have good insurance. I mean, there's a lot of good things about it. I'm just curious as to how the training program is in Ohio because, man, some of them teach service, some of them don't. Some teach commercial, some of them don't. They all teach commercial, some don't teach residential. So just kind of curious there. What all do they teach? What is their biggest opportunity there? So let me know. Juan Escobedo says, hello, Roger. I'm planning on moving to the subcontractor side for plumbing. Would I need to register with the city of Dallas for tax purposes since I will be paying my crew by check? Now, when you say move to the subcontractor side, are you subbing work from another plumbing company? And if you are, how are they paying you? Whose master are you working on, yours or theirs? And there's a whole lot of questions, Juan. The thing is, I would contact with the city of Dallas and ask them. I'm not worried about the tax purposes necessarily. I think you'll need a DBA or you'll need an LLC or something like that. And remember, guys, look, I'm not an attorney. I'm just telling you what I think I would do. I would contact the city of Dallas first and say, hey, look, here's what I'm doing. What do you think? I don't know that I'd even be worried about the tax purposes right now. That's going to be a CPA or an accountant or somebody like that. The thing that I think that I would do, that I would be looking at is, what about the plumbing? Because I would not want to jeopardize my plumbing license or anything like that. So that would be a big thing to me. Yeah, that's the one that would scare me. Here's a man. This is one I looked at a while ago and thought, man, we're getting some great questions in here today. Jack's plumbing video says, whenever you do plumbing in a wall, do you patch the wall or do you have the homeowner do it? And I love that because I'm consistent about it. I tell them every time, you don't want your plumber patching sheetrock, just like you don't want your sheetrock guy fixing your plumbing. And look, I flat out tell them before I ever cut a wall open, hey, I'm going to let you know now, we don't fix this. We're not trained at it. We're not going to do it great. You probably want a sheetrock guy, tape and bed guy, a painter, somebody that's going to do this and do it great. It ain't us. Spencer Current, welcome to the show. Good to have you here. Spencer says, Roger, I'm only 14, but it's been my dream to be a plumber for years for some reason. Now, Spencer, do you call that a dream or is that a nightmare? And I'm just asking, and I'm joking. Man, good for you, because at your age, I had no idea what I wanted to be. I think I did. I think I thought I'd be a professional football player or a movie star. I wasn't sure. Somewhere around in there, though. As you see, I'm neither one. I think it's great that at your age, you know what you want to do. Since you're so young, what can I do to save my body and what can I do to help me excel? Man, great question, Spencer. So here's what I'm going to tell you is, number one, look, at 14, working out is easy to do. You could do it all day and never even think about it. At 57, you're like, man, really? Do I want to get out of bed and do that? Get yourself used to working out and stay in that routine. It's so hard for me because, look, I worked out for years. And then I pretty much stopped because I got busy. I'm working 3 or 4 jobs. I don't have time to do it. Don't have time to eat right. You start eating fast food, you start messing up. So what I would say is, find a way to get in that routine. Find a way to stay in that routine. Always take care of your body. Everything from getting physicals. Got everything from going to the dentist on a regular basis, getting physicals, checking yourself out, taking vitamins, working out, taking care of yourself, eating healthy. There's so many things involved with taking care of you. It's not just, okay, I'm going to exercise. If you exercise, you eat horrible, you don't go to the dentist, you don't go to the doctor, man, it's not going to help a whole lot. It takes a combination of everything. So do that. But also, I love the fact that, man, you can start studying now. Watch videos. Watch my channel. Watch other plumbers' channels. I talk all the time about the study guides, the code books, things like that. Find out what code, you don't say in here where you're at. So Spencer, find out what code your jurisdiction, your city, your town plumbs by. Meaning if you're in Dallas, you can go to the city of Dallas website, you can go to like building permits or something, and it'll say what codes they use. And that is huge because if you'll start looking at that and studying that now, that can really help you. Mario Brothers, hey, man, that's a good one too. How often do you go live? I want to ask questions, but I don't know enough yet. Number one, I tell you, look, I try to go live every Monday. I'm live on YouTube every Monday, 4 to 5:30, unless just something crazy is going on. Right now, I do LinkedIn Live on Tuesday and Friday. and we're thinking about changing Fridays to Thursday. And I hadn't even told anybody that yet. So like y'all are the first people. And this is where I have fun. Getting in here and visiting and talking and doing things like that. This is where I have fun. So this is where all my new, latest, greatest information comes out first. So I like it that y'all are in here. Man. Beverly Olson says, my air conditioning blew up trying to make it drain. Ha ha ha. It's me, Zeus. How are we doing today? You know, look, I get so many people in here. I love it when people come in. I think it's great. So this is cool. Small Town Fisherman says there are companies in your area that just replace polybutylene. And here's the deal. That's exactly what we do. We just tell them, look, I'm not going to make the repair. I'd hate to see them spend $500 or $600 to make a repair here. A month, a week, a day later, there's another repair that needs to be made. Or maybe it's right there where you made the repair because you moved it around, you helped it crack a little bit more, and now they need to jump in and do something. So not good. ADI Plumbing says, I went to your old house and found out that the entire time you lived there, it was no hot water. You went to your old house and found out that the entire time you lived there, there was no hot water. Did you not realize when you lived there that there was no hot water? Just a question. I would have noticed that quick. Saltine Cracker says, one thing I was never taught in your plumbing career was how important PPE and knee pads were. Young people looking to get in should protect their knees and ears at all costs. Man, their knees, their ears, their eyes. I got to tell you, you know, I remember when safety glasses first came around and this new thing called OSHA was going to make us wear hard hats and safety glasses. We literally, on my first job, you'd get off the floor, you'd take your hard hat off, you take your safety glasses off. Man, you could almost take your shirt off. Nobody cared. The world has changed, guys. And look, Saltine Cracker, that's such a great way to put it. You know, I was taught, but nobody enforced it. It's like, okay, yeah, we're supposed to wear glasses. Who cares? Now it's like, look, I wish I'd have known what I know now. I would be very careful about anything I lifted. Man, I've got back problems. I've had both shoulders operated on from, I'm assuming, lifting and holding pipe up overhead and things like that. There's a lot of different things that I would do so different now. So what I will tell you is, man, you're right. Knee pads, oh my God, my knees hurt. But guys, look, the funny thing is, and I know it sounds like I'm complaining, guys, I still love this. I love what we get to do. I love problem solving. I love building. So the things that we get to do here, man, I'm really enjoying it. So it's crazy. William Knighton, how are you doing? Good to have you in here. What do you think of that venting situation on the tankless water heater I sent you a picture of? Yours is the one that had the Fernco gaskets or CT. I couldn't tell if they were Ferncos or if they were just like mission bands or something like that, no hub bands. Man, guys, there's some crazy stuff out there. How many of y'all saw my video of the worst plumbing job ever? And I'm curious because I know that everybody hadn't seen it, but you know, I put a link in there that y'all can send me pictures, videos, anything that you see on a job that's crazy, because we're going to put together and do a video or do something. And man, I would just love it. Anytime y'all see stuff that is just literally that crazy, it's great because Abraham, the plumber who told me about that house, has sent me pictures of a possum that was stuck in a pipe, a live possum. And then he told me how he got it out alive. He has sent me, I've had another plumber that has sent me pictures of stuff about like that water heater vent, but also sent me stuff of, pulled a clean out plug one time and shone a light in there. And I mean, it was like wall to wall roaches. I've got an old video. I need to see if I can find it because I don't know that it recorded that great, but it was literally, when there's breaks in the sewer, you get sewer flies. And I've got a video somewhere from a bar here in the Dallas area that, I mean, we ran it, and I mean, it was like 200 feet of breaks and sewer flies. And man, it is crazy. So send me anything you can, guys. I appreciate it. William, man, I definitely appreciate that. Isaiah 92 says, regarding the C36 plumbing license here in California, you need that to do jobs over 500. Okay, so that's the contractor's license, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Requirements for passing test on law and the trade, also need 4 years in it. Man, that's fantastic. Isaiah, I appreciate you. I knew that they had a license like that. I think it's called a contractor's license or something. I had no idea what it was. So does that mean you can do any plumbing job in Texas or in California and start your own company and things like that now, or is that it? Yeah, here we go. Number one, guys, if y'all have not checked out Scully's House of Thrillers, you need to check it out. Another great YouTuber, jumps into a lot of the training classes I'm in on the weekends, things like that. Man, great seeing you in here. I appreciate you coming by. That is fantastic. I see Stan jumped in and says, what's up, guys? Yes, Jug Jenkins is asking the governor to shut down. And man, it's gonna happen, guys. I'm telling you, when the numbers are coming up as fast as they are all across the United States, it's going to happen. It's gonna shut down again. But we've also got to make sure that we're watching what we do, because I mean, think about it. We're sending our people out to people's houses and taking care of them and all kinds of different things. So, my wife, thank God, woke up Friday morning. She was running fever, and she's like, look, I'm scared. So we started canceling things for Friday. Actually, God Friday, we told the guys not to come in. We canceled everything. I had a photo shoot that we did today that was scheduled for Friday. Canceled it. There was a lot of things going on, but we're like, look, we got to be safe. Got in touch with a doctor that would do a test, get us results back in 24 hours. It was expensive, but we did not want to put our guys in harm's way or our customers. So, man, be careful and keep looking at and taking care of and doing whatever it is you got to do. ADI Plumbing says, does a plumber have to be licensed to do work? Yes. Now I'm going to back up and say, where are you located? Anybody either, I think, pretty much has to work under somebody else's license or have a license. California and New York, California, you got to work under, I guess it's a C36. New York, there's like a master license. The plumbers don't have to be licensed. The company does, or the master plumber. So the answer is really yes. In Texas, a tradesman, a journeyman, even a master can go out and work on other people's houses as long as they are working under a responsible master plumber doing things right and legal. So big way to look at it. The question is legally, yes, depending on where you're at. Unless you're a handyman, then you just go out and do plumbing and do it illegally, but happens all the time. Today, I got a job as a plumber starting Monday. Congratulations to you, my friend. I think that is wonderful. You've been doing carpenter for 7 years. What carpentry tools should you keep in your van? Number one, I'd probably keep as much of them as you could, at least for a while. You'll probably want to change some of them out. You're not going to need hardcore woodworking tools, but tape measures, maybe saws like a keyhole saw, like a Sawzall, God, even a laser, a transit. God, I use all kinds of stuff. But then again, I also look outside of the box and say, this tool is really made for carpenters, but I could use it this way. How many of y'all know what Great Wolf Lodge is? I built a Great Wolf Lodge here in Grapevine, Texas. And one thing that I did is I brought circular saws onto the job to cut 10, 12, and 16-inch Schedule 80 PVC pipe, because with the right blades, we could literally take a wraparound, mark the pipe, get a saw in there, get it in there, roll it, and cut it. Man, so good. Talk about saving time on a job. It was amazing. Critical Gamer. Hello, Sir Roger. My dream job is to become a plumber, but is it worth it for 580 euros a month, or should I move to another job? I don't know the conversion rate. I don't know how, and I know I'm in front of a computer. I don't know what that converts to in dollars, but 580 euros a month. Here's what I say is that good for where you're at? I mean, can you live on that? Can you pay your bills? Can you get ahead? Or is that a great entry level to where you can show them what you can do, learn, improve your skills, and come up from there? Mr. Jeff Stroff in the house. Jeff Ostroff, great having you here, brother. Watched a lot of what you do. That is so cool. Hi, Roger. My plumber did dual kitchen sink P-traps feeding into a horizontal Y into a wall. Others saw my videos, said it violates code due to the double P-trap, but these are in series, not one after another. Jeff, I'll have to check that out and look and see. I've never seen it done like that. What we do, and let me ask you, dual kitchen sink P-traps. Why not use a combination, tie them together, or kitchen continuous waste, tie them together like you would if you did a disposal and a regular basket strainer, tie them together into a T and go into one P-trap. And just asking, because that's the way we've always done that. Jack's Plumbing says, I always use the Schedule 40 P-traps. I don't like the adjustable poly P-traps. And I got to tell you, Jack, we do the adjustable poly, but I love Schedule 40 traps and putting a trap adapter on top of it. I like the fact because you can get a full-size trap in there, and it gives you more room. It's pretty cool. Adjustable P-traps are a violation of plumbing code. Now, I think, Jeff, what he means is the swivel, and I don't have one in here, man. Believe it or not, man, I actually cleaned up the studio this weekend. It actually looks pretty good. The slip joint P-trap. Normally what we do is when you've got a line coming out of a wall, put a trap adapter on there, put a slip joint P-trap in there and line it up. So different ways to do it. But I think what you're talking about, the flexible one, yeah, those are not allowed. So that's what the adjustable is, just a regular slip joint, and those are allowed. Kyle Fogel says, hey, Roger, what's your preference on company employee size? Seems to me you're best with 2 guys or 20 plus. Seems difficult to me to maintain payroll for a smaller crew without having large capital reserves. Here's what I'll tell you, Kyle. And again, this is another good one, because a buddy of mine, when I first got into plumbing, or when I first started my own company, told me, he says, look, when you're by yourself, you're going to make great money. Once you hire that second, third, and maybe even fourth plumber, you're not going to make money. You're going to sustain. You may break even, you may sustain, but whatever it is, whatever the magic is in there, it's hard to make money when you're that size. But he says, once you hit that 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th plumber around in there, then you can really do well. And he runs about 8 plumbers. And I mean, I'm telling you, guy's got a great system. I think it's all about the systems and processes. If you do things right, at any size company, you can find a way to make money. I think at that smaller, like he says, 2, 3, 4 plumbers, it's harder to find that break-even point and make money on a regular basis, because there's a lot of things that still cost you a ton of money. Rent, utilities, things like that it's hard to make it up when you're just running 2 or 3 or 4 plumbers. But once you get to 5 or 6 or 7, 8, you're still paying that same amount. So the way that number breaks out and gets divided out by more trucks, you've got the opportunity to make more money. And I think that part is huge. Jack's Plumbing. Okay, the ones you use. There you go. Ryan ATC. This is an easy one for me. CPVC or PEX. The thing is, we don't use CPVC for anything here. And I say that the only thing we use it for is the discharge, TMP discharge on a water heater. The only time we use CPVC here. Scully says that video is hilarious. I tell you what, Scully, that man, and I had somebody get up and leave a comment that says, "Look, y'all made this up. Y'all staged that." Dude, number one, I'm not smart enough to think about staging that. Piping that, there's no way. Number one, that's a lot of money to waste with all that Upanor fittings and stuff. But I'm telling you, that was straight up legit. Abraham, the plumber I was talking about earlier, sent me a message. Actually, he called me and says, "I've got a house you have to see." And look, that's way outside my service area. Will and I literally drove for about an hour to get over there to it, which is further than I drive for our jobs. But I'm telling you, it was crazy. Pretty cool, too. I want to make sure I get this right. Avatarneji. Man, I hope I'm close. Avatarneji. I have a Corky fill valve that is intermittently running and jacking up the water bill. It appears to not have a float. I checked the flapper for leaks, and it seems to be good. Any tips? Yeah, I've got a video, how to stop a running toilet guaranteed. Try looking at it. You might be able to take the top off. I'm not sure which one you've got. Might be able to take that top off. There's a diaphragm valve in there that if you get any trash or garbage in there, sometimes you can just clean it out. Sometimes you can replace the diaphragm valve. It may just be time to replace the fill valve. Could happen. Before I replace the fill valve, though, I would drop some food coloring down in the tank. Leave it there for about 15 minutes. See if it ends up in the bowl. If it does, it may not be your flapper. It may be the flush valve itself, and that's another fun one to change, but it can be done. Jack's Plumbing Video says, I saw the worst plumbing video. A 5-year-old could have done better plumbing that. Man, you are so on it. DJ Double M, how we doing today? Good to see you in here. What advice will you give to a plumber who is looking for a full-time job with a plumbing company? If you're already a plumber, I would, and it's almost like I tell the apprentices or people wanting to get into the job. If you want to do commercial, look at the biggest commercial jobs around town. Look at the job and, drive by it, see what plumbing company is there. Do a little bit of research on it and then apply at that company. If it's not commercial, you want to do it's residential, watch TV. Who's advertising? Who's advertising doing the kind of work that you want to do? Meaning, if it's residential service, man, those guys are on TV. If it's the union, they may be on something floating in the air. They may be advertising on a radio that they're looking for plumbers. Watch, look, and listen. But man, those are the two best ways. Look on TV, see who's advertising for residential. Drive by the biggest jobs in town and see who's doing the plumbing on them. They've normally got a sign up. They may even have office trailers there that you can pull in and go and talk to somebody. And don't get me wrong, man, just go and say, hey, guys, look, man, I'm looking for a plumbing job. I see y'all doing good things here. Thought I'd come in and check. And then what they would do is send you to the office where you can apply there. Here's a good one. Zachary Klein says, hey, what's up? Union or non-union in Michigan? 23, just about to start your adventure into the plumbing world. Zachary, I've got a free mini course, and I would tell you start there. Go in and watch it and see what it is. Figure out what kind of plumber you want to be, because that's going to help me answer that question. And I go really into depth in my free mini course, and literally it is what kind of plumber do you want to be, residential, commercial? Do you want to do service? Do you want to do construction? Do you want to be union or do you want to be non-union? So there's a lot of it there, but I give you the benefits, the goods and bads of both. And I can't just answer that here because, look, I started out non-union. Now I'm union. I started out commercial. Now I'm residential. I started out new construction, remodel. Now I'm service. So I've 180'd completely on everything, but that makes me a good guy to ask about it because I understand all sides and, man, want to help you out. I love that. Isaiah, appreciate that, brother. See, and man, this is what's good about jumping into lives like this. You get questions from Michigan. You get questions from California. And you get a lot of BS about Texas because that's where I'm at. And it's not BS. Just you know, fighting for our licenses sometimes, but it is what it is. I love that. But see, now everybody in here knows that a C36 is the contractor's license in California, and that's what you have to do plumbing jobs. So, man, I love that. Isaiah, I appreciate you being in here, brother. That son, hey, how are you doing? Good to have you in here. I appreciate it. Brandon Cox's worst plumbing job ever. That one was horrible. Brandon, if you've ever seen worse, I want to hear about it. Bye, honey. Boss lady's leaving. See, she leaves me here to work late, and she gets off early. What is the deal? Next time y'all are in here on live, complain to Julie. She is just, man, tough lady to work for. Come here, honey. I don't know how many of y'all actually, and I've never done this, so it's kind of funny. And she's probably frowning, but here she is. Y'all actually get to me. We're right over here. Y'all actually, hey, look at her. Hey.
Hi, everyone.
You know, Julia normally jumps in on Tuesdays, like tomorrow. She'll jump in LinkedIn Live with me. She has never really jumped in on YouTube Live before at all, have you?
I've never been on YouTube Live. This is normally an honor.
See what I got to do to keep her late? I got to say, hey, baby, look, come here and I'll put you on camera. She's like, okay.
Right.
So she's got my dog, Harley. He's down here laying down.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
He is ready to go, so I'm going to let them get out of here. But okay. I thought, man, I just let her step in and say hello.
Yeah.
So
thank y'all for being here today.
Thank you, honey. Love you. Have a good night.
Right.
So, man, never done that before, but that's my world. Datsun, does Roger read comments? Yes, brother, I do. I read yours just a minute ago. It's just right now there are about, God, I had it just a second. There's probably 40 people in here or so. It's about where we were a while ago. We're at 30, so we're okay. Man, I try to get to all of them. And it's funny because a lot of livers don't, which is great. No, I'm not saying anybody has to or anything like that. The neat thing about it is I try because I want y'all to be able to ask questions, and I want y'all to be able to comment when other people ask questions like, hey, man, here's what I think. Because I don't have every answer, but I can help find it. So I like that. There you go, Mario Brother. See, teamwork, baby. Teamwork. Yes, he's getting to you. Absolutely. Kyle says, what's your ideal domestic water heating system in a standard residential install? Spare no expense and build it from the ground up. Man, I would probably, if expense is not a problem, I would probably go solar. And I started installing solar water heaters back in the 80s. Notice I didn't say solar hot water heaters. I've been thinking about that a lot. Man, I messed up in a video and said it. Man, I think somebody kicked my walnuts, for a week. Like, man, it's not hot water heater. I get it. In a way it is because it keeps reheating the hot water that's already in it. So I won that argument too. No, look, I understand it's not a hot water heater. I would probably go solar, and I love that idea. Here's, you've got solar, you've got a heat pump. There's a lot of different ways to go. I love solar because solar's free. That is free. Now, heat pump's about the same because it pulls the heat out of the air and uses it. And until I went to HVAC school, I had no idea that there's heat in the air every day, even when it's freezing. The air down here don't have a whole lot of heat in it when it's freezing. But it made sense, so I understand it. I like solar. Solar is something that, look, as a lead AP, as a former Green Plumbers USA, I believe, look, we need to find a way to focus on water conservation and how do we go more sustainable. That's what the footprint's all about. How do we make the world a better place? And, man, I love it, Kyle, because I think you're on to it. What do we do? Spare no expense. How do we build the best water heater system? And I love the idea. Standard residential, I love solar, heat pump, either way. Like I told you earlier about, Eric G was on here earlier from Around the House. He's going to heat pump in a Bradford White system. And you know what? I'm probably going to reach out to Bradford White and say, hey, tell me about the system that Eric is looking at. I've got a gas system in mind. I've thought about going to gas hybrid. So there's a lot of different ideas out there, but if I had to spare no expense, I would say, to me, I love the idea of solar. Anytime the sun comes up and you can get hot water out of it, I mean, you're doing a good deal. Jack's Plumbing says, have you ever had to use fabricated PVC fittings? I have. It's not very often, but if I'm not mistaken, there have been a few times. Normally it's a weird fitting, but I have. It's been a long time. Remember, guys, I used to work for some of the largest mechanical contractors in town. I mean, everything from, hospitals, industrial, all kinds of things. So, I've done it all. Saltine Cracker says, I heard there were legislation issues with the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners and is set to abolish in September. Is that still true? No. Number one, it was never set to abolish in September. It was supposed to abolish maybe it was supposed to finish out in September. I spent almost all of last year down there fighting with the, and not fighting, but going to the Capitol to talk to the senators and representatives from across Texas. Look, I love TDLR. I think the executive director is a great guy. His name is Brian Francis. I mean, the guy's really phenomenal. But I also think Lisa Hill is, she's done a lot of good for the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners. There's a lot of things that should have been fixed a long time ago. It's getting fixed now. But what I like about the board is, I believe it's old school. It is a board designed strictly for the protection of the health of the citizens of Texas. That's what it was designed for. It's not to make sure that we have a license. It's not to make sure that we get to do things that the handyman doesn't. It is literally built to protect the health of the people of Texas. And to me, that's huge. That's what it should always be about. And if those of y'all that didn't see my video, I spoke at the Capitol last year, almost a year ago, not quite. And that's exactly what this was. It was a rally to help make sure that plumbers understood what all was really going on and try to figure out why the governor hadn't filled the board seats yet, done the things that we need to do. I mean, man, there's a lot of things. Jeff says, we'll do that P-trap method you suggested, Roger, on the next one. Jeff, all it is, man, it's a great, you take a glue P-trap, Schedule 40, glue it, line it up. And I mean, don't get me wrong, you got to line it up right. Not hard to do. Come out of the top of it, put your trap adapter there and go up. What I like about it, you get a good big base on it. It's full size. I love it. Jack's Plumbing video says, I don't like the continuous waste kits for doubles. I use 2 P-traps. And y'all, I'm not saying it's not legal. I've never done it, but that's because this is the way that I was taught. I'm assuming Jack's Plumbing, you get them inspected. It's not any problems. It's probably per code. I mean, I don't know why you couldn't come off and why and use 2 traps. Like I said, it's not the way we do it here. It's not the way I was taught. So, man, I'm ignorant to it. Stan Chubik says, I wonder how much water we lose because of undetected leaks in Dallas. Was on a call. Foundation is in leaks in Dallas. Was on a call. Foundation is pier and beam, which was completely failed to bottom of joist, and the flower beds are holding water. And I got to tell y'all, and look, those of y'all that have watched any of my videos, you know that I've been working with a product called Meter Dog for about 4 years now. If you've ever talked to them, or if you ever do talk to them, tell them I sent you. It's a product that's going to be amazing. They're in the middle of rollout now. It's new to market. It is literally a device, and it's funny because me and Eric G were talking about them earlier, so I'm just going to show it to you right here. This literally goes down in the meter box. This piece here attaches to the copper or the meter, and it just zip ties. You've got an antenna here that if you've got a plastic lid, it can just go up in the top. I've got a plastic lid, but I'm in a metal box, So I literally drilled a hole, pulled this out the top, and zip tied it. And then you've got an adapter here that later you're going to be able to hook up to a valve so that you can literally turn the water off to your house from an app on your phone. And I'm telling y'all, this is one of the coolest leak detection things I've got. You know, now that we're on leak detection, man, who asked about that? Oh, Stan. I love this. So y'all know a few weeks ago, I gave away a leak detection kit. It's a 3,000 plumbers kit from Leaktronics. I got to tell y'all, this is my new leak detection kit. I'm not giving this one away. I actually helped design this. This is it. I mean, literally, and this has Bluetooth in it, so you can just hook it up to your headphones. But it's also got a spot where you can plug in a headphone. So, I mean, this is your entire leak detection system. Now, don't get me wrong. You're still going to want deck plates. You're going to want different things to do different things. But one of the first things that we do anytime we get out of a truck at a house is grab our leak detection equipment. If we know we're going for a leak, don't get me wrong. So we'll go in, we'll check the meter, we'll check the valve, we'll check the water here, angle stops. I mean, we've got a list. We've got a system and a process, and it works. This is the new thing, though. And literally, you just plug your headphones in, you go in, you put this on the valve, you press the button, and you listen. And I got to tell you, I am so excited about this. This, to me, changes the game. Now, the other cool thing is the Meter Dog is another one. New to market, cellular connection, waterproof. That water meter can get completely full of water and it will not mess it up. So now y'all have learned about all kinds of new things in my world today. So Jeff Ostroff says, Roger Wakefield video is how to install dual kitchen sink drain plumbing pipes. Some said it violates code, which reads can't have double P-traps, which most of us think. It means we can't have two in a row. You know, man, it's interesting. I'm going to do some research on that, Jeff, because I tell you what, like I said, I've never done it here. Now, I have seen commercial sinks that have, a three-compartment sink with three P-traps. So, man, I would say, why not? Very interesting. I like that. Stan says, Roger, will the app work for more than one location? On the auto stop valve, flood stop, at meter, I have a customer that has 50 houses. Yes. Stan, and this is great because I've been working with them on this, and that was one of my big deals. If me as a plumbing company, if I sell 1,000 of these this year, and here's what's cool about it. Say you're in Hawaii on vacation and you've got your apps turned off, you're saving cellular, you're doing whatever you're doing. And I get a notification that you have a leak at your house. I can literally look down at it and I can say, okay, wait, Stan's got a leak. I can look at your device and see it's still running. I can call you and I can say, hey, Stan, do you know you got a leak at your house? And if you say, look, I have no idea, I can ask you, do you want me to turn the water off? So, man, as a plumber, you're going to get notified too, and that's great because if you're communicating with your customer, they may not know about it, and they may say, oh, my God, yes. Well, here's what that's done. That's made you look like a hero to your customer, and it has put you right in the middle of a job. So I love it. William Knighton says, referring to the one you just mentioned about the fill valve coming on and off intermittently, tell her you checked your house pressure, you might have a bad PRV. And, it could be, and not all houses have PRV, so that one normally doesn't cross my mind. But, yes, that's always an option. Stan's right. Julie's gone. Less party. But then you look up and you got Juliet Miranda in here, and that is the party right there. Miss Juliet Miranda, great seeing you in here. We ended up having something come in last week, so couldn't jump in. But, guys, I want to tell y'all, if y'all have not checked out Juliet Miranda and Jeff Ostroff, you need to. Juliet, oh, my God, bourbon-soaked rant. Now, if that doesn't sound like fun, man, I feel for you. Juliet, what are we drinking tonight? Have you figured it out yet? Just curious. Jeff says, Roger Wakefield, what software do you use to manage the live stream and do switching from camera A to camera B? Man, I use all kinds of stuff. I've got a Stream Deck here. I've got, we just upgraded to Vmix. The reason being is I want to be able to interview people from around the country. I want an HD stream or HD video and audio. So there's a lot of things that we're trying to up our game, and man, we are really trying hard, but that's what it's all about. So I appreciate that. But yeah, I've got the Stream Deck down here. I can literally just go back and forth to cameras. I can bring in comments. I can take comments away, and I've got to where literally I can do most of it. And this is cool because now I don't have to have a producer in here. I can produce it all myself while I do it. And we're getting ready to do a podcast. So that's going to be neat because what I will do, we will use Vmix Call. I can bring in other people, and literally I can go from my camera to their camera. And then there's another screen that will give us a split screen where it's both of us. So I'm excited about this. And remember, guys, this is all new to me. I did not start doing this till about 2 years ago. And man, we are learning it. So it is really great. Saltine Cracker is right. Julie is the real boss. Guys, I don't hide it. I admit it. You know, I've got a man card, but she carries it in her billfold. Zaxarus Petixos. Gas or oil if you put solar panels for the whole house. Man, number one, we don't use oil here. The water heaters I was doing, the water heaters that I were doing back in the 80s was doing. God, these were like 80-gallon water heaters. These puppies were huge. And they were electric water heaters, and they had a glycol and a glycol pump that went up to the solar panels on the roof and circulated hot water around the outside of the tank. So pretty neat. Brendan Cox says, I love my Navion MPE 240. It's a convertible natural gas to propane, has built-in recirculating pump, ultra high efficiency. That's what it's all about. And I see my friend jumped in here. Lady Moore Natural, how are you? Great to see you in here. It's been a while. I know I saw you the other night over in Kenny Molotov's live. Great seeing you in here. I hope everything is going well with you. David Ramirez says, I started plumbing 3 months ago for a non-union company. Should I try to go union? You know, David, it really, man, it depends on you. What do you want? Are you learning what you want to learn? Are you getting a good education? You know, go back to the thing when I talk to plumbers all the time about, or apprentices or people wanting to get into the trades, what they want to do, what they want to learn. You know, are your needs being met? Are you learning? Are you getting educated? Are you growing to be a better plumber? And what is your end game? I tell people all the time, like if you want to own your own company one day, you know, going up to the union may not be the right thing for you because most people aren't going to own a big commercial company, and mainly that's what the union is. So different ways to look at it, but you got to do what you got to do to make you happy, and that's why that's a hard question for me to answer. Emiliano Roque, how are you, sir? Knowing that each code is different in every state, what is the best way to study the code? You know, and that's a good one because Emiliano, really, to be honest, they're different, but so many things are similar. I mean, look, water goes downhill, okay? Vents go out the roof unless they've got Studer vents or something like that on them. There's a lot of differences, but there's a lot of commonalities. And I know, like in Texas, if you're studying for the plumbing exam, I tell you, look, you can study the IPC or the UPC because there's different places that use them. Here's the thing. And look, I love the UPC study guide. I think it's help. I love the UPC illustrated study guide. I think it's great because it gives you pictures. Man, most of us, it's easiest for us to learn if we can see it, read it, feel it, touch it, the whole 9 yards. Don't just try to learn one way. Learn whatever way is best for you. But I love the idea of having a study guide like that, man, I think that is phenomenal. And man, y'all threw up a lot of questions real quick because my stuff just got lost. Jump back over here. There we go. And I wasn't as far off as I thought I was. I did pretty good. So Deontay Richardson says, hopefully once you finish your plumbing apprenticeship, you'll be making that $100 an hour. And you know what? I mean, and look, I've still got people that laugh at me over that because 6 months ago I started saying, look, I really think in 5 years, plumbers will be making $100 an hour on the check. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that COVID has slowed everything down, but I still think plumbers are going to be making money pretty daggum close to that. The reason being, for every 5 people that retire out of plumbing this year, only one's getting in. And supply and demand is going to catch up. And pretty soon, there's not going to be near as many plumbers. And you guys are going to be able to charge whatever you want to charge. And at that point, I want you to send me a 10% referral fee for me being the one who told you about it and told you you need to get in it and told you you need to be making $100 an hour. Man, I will consult with you 10, 15%, somewhere around in there. I think that's good. And think about it. If you're learning this from me, man, it seems like the way to go. I'm helping you out. Or, hey, no, brother, I think it's going to happen. And I am serious. Plumber WRX, how are you? HVAC with Greg jumped in the house. How are we doing? Interesting problem at our house this week. We had had water pooling along one side of our yard, but your meter was not spinning, meaning it wasn't our plumbing. City came out, pressure tested their side. We have a 150-foot driveway, nothing, so they thought it might be septic tank related because we live in the same hill with people above us. One there had his tank pumped a few weeks ago. City went around checking every meter. Finally, the same one had their tank pumped. Last month, they used 2,000 gallons. This month, they used over 10,000. Everyone starts calling him, banging on the door, telling him to turn off his water. Man, that's a good one. I love that. That's a lot to be writing in there, brother. I appreciate it. And Stan's right, man, you can always go in and do a chlorine test and check and find out, look, is there chlorinated water there? And I'll do that. I got companies that send me around the nation to do leak detection. And one of the things I do whenever I pull up on a job, if they're like, well, we got water over here, we got water over here, I always do a chlorine test. And I told them, well, that's not city water. They're like, well, how do you know? I tested it. Good way to do it. Greg, tell me, did they find chlorine or no? Mr. Ben Weaver, I officially got into the UA Local 719. A lot of commercial job sites aren't opening in Fort Lauderdale until Labor Day, but excited to start class next Tuesday. Ben, brother, I am happy for you. Congratulations. I think that's great. Man, this is the beginning of an amazing career if you want it to be. David Ramirez, should I go union or no? I think we kind of answered that one a while ago. It's going to be up to you. Go through my free mini course, look at it, see which one you think sounds better to you. If you want to do, like he said, a lot of commercial jobs, that's going to be the best part about the union. They will teach you a lot of good things there. HVAC Greg says the water showed some chlorine, but the city explained septic water will have some chlorine, but when people flush their toilets into it. Yeah, but the chlorine level is much lower because it's been contaminated, and also it's been sitting there for a while now. And you're right, it still will have some, but that will separate that from rainwater, and that's what I always end up having to fight with. I'm in a county where people have city water instead of well, but they do have septic tanks in their own trash pickup. Absolutely. Looky there. I got my first super chat ever. I want to say thanks to HVAC with Greg. We've been working on things, getting things set up where, look, I've had people reach out to us, and this is great because I know we're getting down towards the end. Number one, HVAC with Greg, thank you very much. Much appreciated. First one ever, so that's cool. And he says, everyone liked the video. Yeah, if y'all hadn't given me thumbs up, please do. And I don't get to see the notes on here and things like that, what's happening. But Will told me to ask y'all. We've got different things that we're working on. And y'all know that I can't sell the shirts like this on YouTube because it's all through Teesprings, but they do T-shirts and things like that. But we're thinking about doing some T-shirts. I've done some before that have my logo on the front. I think I had the YouTube logo and LinkedIn logo on the back. I've done the caps before. I guess y'all can see it better in this video. I've done the caps before there. So we're doing a lot of different things. We're getting into merchandise. We're getting into things. I told y'all earlier, I'll tell y'all about this. We've reached a verbal agreement with a wonderful sponsor. We're looking at things that we can do for our community, like giveaways, education. They're like, Roger, look, we love what you're doing. We love the way you're trying to educate people. We want to help you with that. So there's so many good things going on. But I want y'all to think about what kind of merch would y'all like? Is it caps? Is it T-shirts? Is it, I'm going to say fanny packs? I've got different things that we're working on. Some of it we can do through Teespring. Some of it we can't. So that's going to be interesting. But, coffee mugs, koozies, Yetis. I mean, I can't do these Yetis either. But, if there's anything that y'all are just like, man, I would love to have a Roger Wakefield hat or a T-shirt or something like that, just do me a favor. Leave a comment, send us a message, whatever you want to do. But, man, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. David Ramirez, thank you. I appreciate you jumping in. John Kaiser, I have an apprentice interview tomorrow. Would you have any tips for the interview, from dress attire to questions I may expect switching from the auto body world? Man, John, I got some videos you need to watch. Here's what I'll tell you is go in with a great attitude. And look, take time to watch some of these videos because I'm telling you, I've got some great stuff in there. But what I want you to do is, number one, go in with an attitude that, look, you want to think about what you can bring to the company. So you want to be able to explain to them, look, I'm a dedicated worker. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to be on time. But look, I only say all that if it's true. But when, one of my big things is when you get down to the end and they ask you, do you have any questions? And don't ever ask them a question about something they've already answered unless you need more clarification. But one of my big ones is always, how is this job going to benefit me and my career? Because I want to be a good plumber. And things like that are always, I like that. I love the guys that are serious. And, we try to run an extremely professional company. And, sometimes it's hard to do when you got plumbers that, saw it in here just a second. I'll get to it. But when you got guys sticking in shark bite fittings and things like that, it's tough. So anyway, yeah, shark bite fittings are good for people who don't take pride in their work. And see, that's something that I never want one of my plumbers doing. So, man, that's a tough one for me. So, like I said, I've got some videos, how to find the job, how to go in for a good interview, how to have that positive attitude, look people in the eye, shake their hand, remember their name, speak to them. And when you're done, look at them and say, look, whether I get this job or not, thank you very much for the opportunity. I do appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. Man, little things like that are huge. Samuel Cardenas says, currently in the residential service plumbing, what do you think about working for the city water department? Samuel, and man, again, this is a good question because I have no problem working for the city water department. What do you want to do in the long run? And I say that because there's not a lot of move up from there. Maybe one person can move up to the manager or whatever position it is. Here's my thing, though. What about if you want to work for yourself one day? You're never going to open a water department. It's already done. But at least as a plumber, you have that option to come in and do better things. So I love it. Look, we need them, and I'm not saying anything bad about it, but what do you want for your long-term goals? That's the big thing. HVAC with Greg says, they say all trades will be making bank. I have heard once I finish school in my HVAC apprenticeship, I'll be making $30, $40 an hour. Some techs make over $100. Greg, and you're right. here's the deal. 6 years ago in the union, I was making $50 an hour. And that's here in Dallas where scale was probably 25 or 30. So you can do whatever you want to do. The more you learn, the more value you bring to your employer makes it huge. So it goes back to John. John Kaiser, there we go. John, here's the deal. The more value you bring to a company, the more you're worth. And learn what they consider to be value and ask them, what things is it important to y'all that I learn? What things are you looking for in a plumber that I can look to learn to excel and grow and do better? Always huge. Find out. Same here. Have tools, will train. Stan, amen. Got another super chat. I love that. Thank you, Jeff. Says, I researched Vmix. Other major channels recommend it. I think I'll be doing that. Still can't get parts for your Nikon to USB due to pandemic shortages. Yeah, I've got 3 or 4 cam links, and we ended up having to buy software too. Can't even think of it. Sparko Cam. We had to do that. We've just built some new computers, and I'm actually trying to go internal now. I think, who is it? Black, whatever. And they're building them now where it's literally, it's an insert card for your computer. But I always want more because, we've got 2 cameras now. I want a GoPro up here for a behind the scenes. I want to be able to share screens. I want to do a whole lot of things. So anyway, man, learn all you can, brother. The Vmix, it's a learning curve, and that's why I said it that way. And that has been a big deal for us to try to move up. HVAC with Greg says you'll start getting super chats like crazy now. You know what? And Greg, thank you for that. But here's why I did that is we have literally, I've had people jump in here. I've had people jump into my videos and say, look, I wish there was a way to donate money to you because you have saved me so much or you have taught me so much. And man, it's crazy. We've literally received envelopes in the mail, $10, $20. This is to Roger because you saved us so much money by making these videos. And man, it's neat. So Greg, that's why we did that. So thank you so much. We've got a lot of things that we're working on. Man, I want to help my community. And Jeff's really good about this. So I love that. The engagement, doing things with them, for them. Look at this. I reached out to Leaktronics and said, man, look, I want to give away a leak detection kit. Will you do it? And Darren's like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do that. So if y'all hadn't gone over and checked out Leaktronics, that's who I'm working with on this. And I'm telling you guys, I am just so excited about everything going on because the opportunities are amazing and people getting into the trades right now, life has never been better. And I got to tell you, you little young whippersnappers out there, 14 years old, 20 years old, even 30, I don't care. Man, there's a lot of people my age and older, and I'm 56, and I know to y'all that is freaking old. But here's what I'll tell you. The opportunity for y'all's future is amazing. Because like I said a while ago, every time 5 of us retire, only 1 new person is getting in. So supply and demand is going to be on your side. You're going to have it made. Stan says, Greg, does water have odor? Plus, do a pressure test on your side. Absolutely. And I think he said that he did, Stan. HVAC with Greg, we live in the bottom of the hill. They discovered the house at the top of the hill. Yep. Water leak running down the hill. Septic tank. Man, that's crazy. The bottom before running into the creek at the back of our property. Brennan Cox has seen on YouTube. I love it. Look, guys, we do this because it's fun. We do this because it's entertaining. We do this to help other people. And I'm going to ask y'all to slow down the questions. I know we are getting close. I don't even know what page I'm on, and there may not be more. We're getting close to 5:30, which is about when I stop. And I do want to talk about some things that we're working on. just to let y'all know. But I'm very interested in finding out what, if any of y'all would like merch or shirts or caps or anything like that, what is it that you'd be interested in? Will asked me that earlier. We've been working on it. We've got some designs done. We've got some different things, so many different things we've been working on. I mean, everything from, meter dog to electronics to sewer cameras to the most freaking amazing tool bags. I've got to tell you, it's not in here. It's actually out in the Jeep because we were doing a photo shoot today. My Vito Pro Pack, oh my gosh, amazing. Brad H says, hey, Roger, really enjoy your videos. What's your thoughts on using copper stub outs when using PEX? I love it. If I was running PEX, I would definitely have the copper stub outs because I'd want to be able to secure them. I hate it when I go to a house and there's PEX sticking out. I mean, you can wobble it. It's just, man, come on. Put it in right, anchor it, secure it. That way, when that stub out is there, it's there. Man, it looks good forever. And then you don't just have to have a crimp on or shark bite or any kind of a stop like that. You literally, man, you can go solder, you can go compression, you can do what you want to do. I love solder. I know a lot of young plumbers don't like it, but I'm telling you guys, it's a skill and it's something that you should all learn. Man, take the time to learn it and learn it well. It is a good thing to know and a great thing to learn. Emilio, brother, I appreciate you being here. More than welcome. Thank you, sir. That will do it. Absolutely. Felix says, hello, I wanted to become a plumber, but I got an opportunity in a fire sprinkler fitter apprenticeship. Do you know much about sprinkler fitting? And is it a good career with future job growth? You know what? And Felix, I'm going to tell you this. Anything in the trades right now has a great future ahead of it. I used to do sprinkler work. I was in plumbing. A friend of a friend was going to Austin, or actually we were here. One of the plumbers I first worked with went over to this sprinkler company as a superintendent, brought a bunch of us with him. That's where I was doing all the seal flaws. But I've got to tell you, I got nothing wrong with it, nothing at all. I like the idea of plumbing because one day I knew I wanted to open my own company, and I just think I'll have a better career doing it that way. And it would have been something easier for me to start, and it really was. John Kaiser says, thanks for your tips. I will definitely be watching more of your videos. Thank you very much. Guys, if y'all hadn't subscribed yet, do. We're working on new things, and I want you to be able to see it and be a part of it. And, man, leave comments. Tell me what you think. I'm trying to reply to more and more of them. It just always doesn't work, but I promise you, I try. Josh says, Joshua Giles, how are you? Giles or Giles? I've got Giles here in Dallas that I grew up with. Hello, Josh from New Jersey. I applied for an apprenticeship, and I just would like to know how long would it take for them to get back to me. Brother, if you're in Jersey, there is no telling. I don't know how things are locked down or whatever. I would probably contact the union to say, hey, just want to make sure you got everything. Is there anything you're waiting on? You can always call and ask once or twice. Man, a lot of things are slowing down, so I completely understand. It's a crazy world right now. So it's different everywhere we go. Jeff says they should have the super chat on every video, not just in the chat window. And Jeff, that's a good idea. You might reach out to TubeBuddy, vidIQ, different people, talk to them. Man, YouTube's always looking for what can they do to upgrade. But man, that's a great idea. I like that. Yeah, Joshua, I figured out what you were getting at, brother. And I love that. I think it's great. Congratulations. I really hope that it works out well for you. I love this trade. Stan Chubik that's for sure on the carrier, and there are a lot of new tools available to make the job easier. Amen. What days do you usually do these live videos? Emiliano, sorry. I always do YouTube lives on Monday. Like I said, I do LinkedIn Live on Tuesday and Friday, but we're looking at changing that schedule up a little bit. Tuesday and Friday at 10 o'clock on LinkedIn. Cool thing is, if we're not connected on LinkedIn, connect with me. If you don't catch it live, man, you can watch the replay. Lady More Natural says merch would be great. I started to say amazing, but you know what? I'm looking forward to it. We're getting a lot of support. It's been really good. I love what I'm doing. I'm loving the opportunities that I'm getting. Getting to work with people like Leaktronics, Meter Dog, that I think are just amazing products, and I think it's going to be really cool. Stan says do a video on specialty tools, T-drill, PEX, Uponor expanders. Man, we did Uponor already. We did PEX already. The line locating equipment, that's going to be a good one. Man, my leak detection equipment. Oh my God, I can't wait. So yes, it's going to be great. Plumber WRX says, hello, Roger, 30-year apprentice, almost 4. Did 4 50-gallon water heaters at different houses today, all 50 gallons. Man, you killed it. Good for you. Man, I'm proud of you, brother. Where are you located? I'm assuming they were all in the garage, fairly, and I don't mean to sound bad, but fairly easy to get in and out. That's a lot of work, brother. That's a lot of work. Good for you. HVAC with Greg says, I wish I had a 50-gallon tank. We just have a 30 or 40 in the back of a small closet. God knows when the last time it was flushed. I can take a shower and run out of hot water after 15, 20 minutes. Man, why are you taking 15 or 20-minute showers? I mean, look here. I got tons of hair. I can 5-10, I'm done. Soap, rinse. Man, hit the good spots. 15 to 20-minute showers. I ain't taking 15, 20-minute showers in a while. I mean, it's been a long while. Plumber WRX, your interview for 322 is still to be determined. Jeff says, one of your vids, arrogant plumber chewed me out for using 1.5 DWC line in kitchen. Said it's standard here. Come to find out Chicago requires 2-inch. You know what? Remember, Jeff, any city can take the code and write addendums. And if Chicago wants a 3-inch line in the kitchen, they can say this is what we're going to do. So it's their prerogative. It's their city. It's their inspectors. They get to do whatever they want. HVAC says you can try to enable, get allowed to use channel memberships, Roger. Basically, by the subscribers button, there is a join button that you can pay so much per month, different tiers. I'm a member of a few. We've thought about that too, Greg. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We've thought about that too. Actually, we're trying to set things up where, like after this, like at 5:30 right now, I would jump over into a Facebook group, and we're talking about that because we're talking about setting or expanding our training program that we're doing that's out there right now. Anyway, as we get more into that, I will let you know. Roger, you can sell your company T-shirts as merch. Boy, that's true too. I hadn't thought about that. Great. Plumber WRX, thank you. I like that. Yeah, on a few channels. Each tier comes with different perks. Yeah, I've got that. And look, I'm a member of some channels, so I get it, and I think it's a great idea. We're just trying to figure out what to do to make it worth people's time. We want to bring value, not just make a group to jump in every now and then. Man, I want to bring value to people in everything I do. So, Greg, thank you so much. I do. I really do appreciate that. Jeff says, oh, there you go. Yeah. Sophia says, need to know your opinion on replacing drain lines under the slab or doing a sleeve. You know what, Sophia, man, and that's a good one. I don't do a lot of SIP, the cure in place plastic. My thing is I believe in tunneling and going in there and replacing it, securing it right. Cast iron pipe was put in the ground. It's designed for 25 to 50 years above ground, a lot less once you bury it and it starts rusting. But then again, I've been under houses that are 60 years old that the pipe looks brand new. So, man, that's a tough one. But I do tunneling. I've never sleeved. I know people that do it and they love it. Me, man, I'm an old school plumber. Let me dig a hole up under there. We'll take care of it. Plumber WRX in Jersey. Spectres only want 2-inch for the kitchen where there's a garbage disposal. Spexel says, Roger, I'm new in the plumbing business. What is the average gross margin I should aim for? after all expenses paid if I have an administrative assistant? And that's a good question, and it varies. To be honest, and guys, let's stop the questions. I really need to get out of here. I love y'all being here, but man, I woke up at 2:00 this morning, could not go back to sleep, so I'm running on empty. That could be a song. Here's what I tell you: is people are going to tell you anywhere from 10 to 20%, and some might be able to make a little bit higher if they don't have any overhead, they don't have an office, they don't have things like that. Some may be, going well under 10. Me, I'm not trying to, and I know this is going to sound wrong, I'm not trying to make profit right now. I'm trying to grow. So I've got 2 marketing guys that actually come out of profits for the plumbing company. So, man, it depends on what you're doing. But, man, if you can hit between 10 and 20, you should be good if you're paying yourself and your admin too. So it can be great. Can you get a contractor plumbing license at 18 if you start young? I think in Texas you can get your journeyman at 18. So if you've gone through a DOL training program, and it may even be 17. If you've gone through a DOL training program, right after you get your journeyman, a year later you can get your master's. So, yeah, different in every state though, guys. Sean Winrick says, plumbing is a fantastic career. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I appreciate the videos and your passion for the trade. Look, guys, I love the trades, not just plumbing. I love all the trades. And I'll tell y'all probably more about it in about a week. I'm working on a magazine, and it's about the trades. And I've got a lot of good people that have contributed to it. There's so much going on that, man, it's going to be coming up soon. All I can tell y'all is, look, stick around, hang around, watch what we're doing, because we're having fun and we're really trying to help get people into the trades. Jeff says, we pulled cast iron pipe stack out of a friend's house from a 1946. Inside the wall, the vertical stack had lots of half-inch size holes from corrosion. It happens. Roger, what's your opinion on tradespeople being armed with a small concealed gun? I've heard many people are now armed because it's just not safe anymore. Man, look, I'm licensed to carry. I normally don't carry them in a plumbing van, but I know plumbers that do, depending on what they go to. I have no problem. I have no problem with it at all. Plumber WRX, thank you. Stan, thank you. HVAC with Greg, Lady Moore, thank you all. Big John just jumped in. Good to see you, brother. Glad to have you here. Here's the deal, guys. Look, if you have not subscribed to Jeff Ostroff, we had Juliet Miranda in here earlier. You do it. If you have not subscribed to these guys, jump over on our YouTube channel, subscribe. They're all doing great things. Look, we got great people in here, great community. I love it. Lady Moore, yes, I believe the Job Corps is considered a DOL program. So, guys, I just want to take a second and say thank y'all very much. I got cool things we're working on with MeterDog and Electronics, and that sponsorship wall is fixing to happen. So I really do appreciate y'all being here. Thank y'all for the super chats. Like I said, just activated that today. Had never done it before. And we've had it. We've been able to do it. We just finally did it. So thank you all for everything you do. So hopefully, guys, we'll see y'all again next week. So I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you subscribing. Appreciate you ringing the bell and everything else you do. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.